Thing that makes me most happy about this new CR-V is that they seem to have settled or solved the road noise finally. Good day, everybody. You're watching Beyond the Test Drive, and I have a 2024 Honda CR-V LX. This is the base trim. That's what we like to do here. Let's grab these base trims and see what they're all about. This is not the hybrid touring that you've seen all the videos out there. This is the one that a lot of people may be interested in because of the price. It starts at, with two-wheel drive, just under 30. Now I'll show the sticker price of this one right up there. This is all-wheel drive. I think it's coming in 32-ish with destination. Now this is a 6th gen, and I think Honda did a great job on this redesign because they went back to their roots. If you go back and look at the 1st, 2nd, even the 3rd gen CR-V, they just had a fun attitude, boxy, utilitarian. I think with that 4th generation, they started taking themselves a little too seriously, and in that last 5th gen, well, I'm not sure. They sold tons of them, but I think this all-new 6th gen, which came out last year in 2023, really kind of recaptures what the CR-V started as all those years ago. So today we're going to check this out. We're going to take it out on the highway, take it out on a nice mountain road, go over all the features here, and then talk about some of the other trim levels, because I think that's where this LX kind of falls short on the trim level scale. But let's just look in the back real fast. Nothing fancy here. You can get a power lift gate on higher trims, but this is really nice back here as far as space. It's a big wide opening. This is class leading. Something to keep in mind is that it's not that deep, but it's nice and tall, and it'll swallow big things. You also have this can be lowered down to give you a little bit more storage, and you do have a spare tire under there. But let's go ahead and pop those seats down. Do have to kind of come in here and do that, but that's okay. You can put both seats down just like that. And this is another one, a little bit of a quibble right here with this. It's not a flat floor, which is not a big deal most of the time, so I would not call that a deal breaker. You do have all LED white lights in here, well lit up storage area. And these back seats do recline. And this is another area that this CR-V now excels in, is the interior room and the back seat. Not a whole lot of creature comforts back here. You do have, even on the LX trim, they give you this center console. Some cars don't do that, but they did that here on the base trim, and you do get rear heated vents. Now let's talk about the Honda interior of the CR-V. Yes, this was a big deal when it came out. Everybody likes this design language. It's very utilitarian. It looks great. It's got a good visual appeal, and it just doesn't take itself too seriously like that last gen. So that's really why I like this. Most of the materials in here are pretty good quality. This thing is well screwed together, as you would expect a Honda to be. However, one nit on this LX, there is no USB back here and only one USB-A up there. If you go up to the EX trim, which is the next one up, they give you a whole whopping 2 USBs. So Honda's a little skimpy on the USBs, especially in this LX trim. And hopping up here into the driver's seat, this LX trim comes with not much. You have a nice 7-inch screen here, which I really like. Again, you get the CVT, so you have a couple drive modes, just snow and econ and regular. And let's go ahead and fire her up real fast. Digital gauge on the left, an old analog on the right. Down here you got your brake hold, and you do have a downhill descent control, which is nice. And this does have a stop start on the engine to save gas mileage, and you can turn that off or on here. And you do get a nice sturdy shifter. All the buttons are gone now. You get drive, and you get a couple low modes here. Not, for a Honda, there's not a huge, a bunch of cubbies and stuff. You do get this nice bin down here with a 12-volt. Glove box isn't that big. You do get a nice couple cup holders, and you do get a nice little place right here for catching your phone or sunglasses or something like that. And you do get this center bin, which is pretty spacious. Door pockets aren't huge, but again, everything in here is pretty nice. And the claim to fame, or the best thing, is that there's not a lot of piano black. I really like this material here. Lots been made over these vents. These on the LX, this is not good. Just how this feels is just not good. These actually feel pretty good. All these dials do clickety clackety, even though they're plastic, but they feel pretty good. What's nice about Honda is the CR-V is just visibility is just fantastic. It's just a big box with lots of windows. You do have a pretty chunky area back there, and this LX trim does not have any type of blind spot monitors. Get your sunglasses up here. Okay, steering wheel, it's not real soft, it's kind of plasticky, but I'm okay with that. LX trim does have decent fabric, I kind of like that, but these seats are pretty bolstered, so definitely sit in these because I'm not a big person and they do feel like they hug me. Over here on the passenger side, sits up pretty high. The seat doesn't lower or raise up or anything, but you can see out pretty well. The other thing this LX does, you get pretty good looking wheel covers, but they are wheel covers. These are on 17-inch wheels. And there she is, the 1.5 that you see in Civics and Accords, and it made its debut in 2017 in the last gen CR-V. Nice big engine compartment, and you do get hood struts. Pretty nice. Okay, out here for a drive on a pretty windy road, going up a hill. Let's just start with the engine CVT. I mean, Honda is not apologetic at all about their use of a CVT, and it has always paired very well with their 1.5 turbo. It's actually a pretty good match. You see it in the Accord. You've seen it around since like 2017. It's in the Civic, and the CVT does a really good job of just keeping this engine right in the meaty part of the turbo's torque band. So I've never had any issues with spunk, and sure enough, this one is pretty spunky. I guess I would call the CR-V peppy. Never had any issues just moving along. Now I would also add that Honda has really updated everything regarding the steering and the suspension. You know, we have pretty quick steering here. Obviously you're not going to dive into any of these turns, but it's pretty quick and it's pretty accurate, and it weights up pretty nice at speed, and it's also pretty comfortable when you're just maneuvering around a parking lot. The other thing, as far as ride quality, and this is where I feel like they've made the biggest improvement, they've given this a nice taut suspension, dare I say a little European feeling, or maybe even a little Mazda feeling, because you can feel the road, but it's very, very compliant. And one of the places that it's really comfortable is out on the highway. All right, up to speed. Yeah, really plenty of zip, no problems getting this up to speed. And I'm gonna tell you the most joyous thing, or the thing that makes me most happy about this new CR-V, is that they seem to have settled or solved the road noise finally. Thank you, Honda. This has what I would call pretty good cabin sound levels for Hondas, and I would say it's right up there with a lot of the other ones now. So it's not bothering me at all. I also noticed this in the new Accord that I recently drove. I'll put the link up there so you can watch. Yeah, so I'm very thrilled about that. Thank you, Honda, for that. So this is a great trip car now, because I got zoom, zoom, zoom with this peppy engine and responsive transmission. The only thing I would balk about right now is the seats in this LX. The bottoms are pretty hard, and the bolsterings, I mean, I'm not a big person, and this thing's got me pretty highly bolstered, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but I'm not sure about the seat comfort in this LX. So yeah, cruises really, really well. I can see no issues. Let's go ahead and jump around here. Yeah, this is fine. This is really good. A little bit of wind noise, a little bit of buffeting, but it's a box. It's a box running through the air here, so what do you expect? Now, as far as fuel economy, the last few days, over about 100 miles, I've been dogging this thing and in really bad traffic, so it's not showing very good numbers down there. But these are rated for 27 in the city, I think 32 on the highway. I'll put them numbers up there. I really don't think there's any reason to think that this won't do that in most driving conditions. I think this will definitely do low 30s out on here on the highway, given where the engine is. It's pretty relaxed. Any other things? Let's see. So the mirrors are just weird. They're not very big, but that's if I had to complain about something. Of course, the seats. Safety wise, you got all of Honda's safety sense, even on this base trim, which is really nice. And you get a really nice adaptive cruise control, which I'll go ahead and set it for 76 there. And I can engage lane centering, so it'll steer me in this lane, as you can see here right now. Let's see how it does on this turn. Oh, it's hugging the left side, but it's not ping-ponging. And then it wants me to grab the wheel. So it's a nice little trip feature if you get distracted or you're putzing with the radio or something. And ride comfort, they really dialed this in. It's very composed over this pretty, not the best pavement in the world right here. So nice job Honda on just making a really good riding car, but it also gives you a road feel. So very composed and very comfortable. Again, now the CR-V is saying, take me on a trip, and I think it would be a great comfortable trip car. Again, I got to get back to these seats. Maybe that would be the limiting thing. The other thing is the bass stereo in this LX. If you go up to the EX, you get better and better stereos as you go up the line. But for a bass stereo, this is one of the best bass stereos I've heard in a long time. I'll go ahead and put on some music here. Enough of that. It's a little bright. It's not the typical muddy Honda system, so yeah, pretty good. So all right, let's get this back to the mountains. Yeah, so I find the suspension just very sophisticated. So this car doesn't wallow around, you know, it's just comfortable enough, very well damped. So I'm gonna give them an A+ for the suspension tuning, much better than the last generation. Now the one area that I have to give sort of maybe like a B- to is the brake pedal feel. The brakes are fine, plenty of stopping power, no real issues there. They're just really soft and light, and I wouldn't say it's a mushy pedal feel, but it's definitely not a whole lot of feedback between what you're pushing down and what you're getting as far as brakes. Now the other thing is engine isolation is a lot better. It's definitely quieter up there, and really don't mind the engine note. It's at least it's smooth, gets a little raucous every once in a while, and I kind of contrast this against the Toyota RAV4, the 2.5 4-cylinder. This is definitely sounds better, and I hate to admit it, but I do like driving the CVT a little better than that 8-speed. It's just more responsive, and I know that's a little blasphemous, but it's a little bit better. Now let's get back to talking price and trim levels. Now everything for the 2024 model year is essentially unchanged, but Honda did raise their prices, and I'm not sure here in mid-2023 if dealers are still doing the markup shenanigans. So Honda actually seems to be wanting a bite of that money with the price raise, and I'm not sure availability is still tight, so maybe stay patient. This stuff has to end sometime, especially with interest rates where they are now. But now value-wise, I think you do want to try to come up with that $2,500 extra to get the EX. You get some really nice features with that money, like 18-inch alloys. You get a full keyless entry, moonroof, heated seats, etc. But then once you get there, you say, well, you know, the real value trim could be the hybrid, as that'll set you back $34K with two-wheel drive and $36K for the four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. I do actually like how this drives out on the highway. And it's a good utility. It does everything you would want your car to do. It's got all-wheel drive. You can throw a ton of people in it and stuff in it. You know, I just think there's lots of other things that definitely drive better out there. And I think it's all about trim creep. You're gonna go, I want the EX, because I think you really do want to get those goodies. And then when you get the EX, you go, well, you know, I might as well just go ahead and spring for the Sport Hybrid. And that's what we're gonna recommend here today. If you're really on a budget, I think this is fine. It's going to last you forever. You're going to enjoy it, and it really is going to be your utility knife or your utility tool in your toolbox. Let me know your comments below. Let me know what you think about this all new CR-V. Well, it's not all new. It's been out for a while now, but we'd love to hear from you. Give a thumbs up today if we've done a good job, and we would love you to subscribe. So thanks again for watching, and have a great day, morning or evening, wherever you may be.